I've been writing this film for about 4 years, while setting my business up and having my business going. And then I decided, you know, that the reason the script wasn't getting finished was that I had no deadline. And so I decided that what I'd do one day is that I would say, well, we're going to go to Cannes. And for that, I'm going to write a script, I'm going to shoot a trailer, I'm going to get all these other things done, we're going to go to Cannes.
She told me that I was the incarnation of an angel.
I have two loves of film. I love action films, and I also love films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Donnie Darko, you know, Mothman Prophecies, you know, all these films in the genre, where they almost have their own genre, where they're a little bit strange, you have to think about them a lot, they take you off in different directions, you know, they have full reversals in them and twists, you know, and also the great thing about them is that they get the mind going, and when you're watching you're thinking, what's going on, you get goosebumps, you have no idea, you're getting taken in one direction and another direction, you know, and things aren't always what they seem.
This is all in your head. How do I know who these people are and where to find them?
And really, URIEL has a top layer, which is action based. It's an action film. It's about a guy who gets told by a messenger from God that he's the incarnation of the archangel URIEL, who must carry on, you know, his work, which is basically cleansing London of its crime. It's got a guy going out, you know, beating up criminals, having fights, gunfights, you know what I mean, possibly a couple of car chases, you know, things like this in there, to keep a younger version of me entertained. Because our character is at a certain point in his life where many things have happened to him, and he's almost, you know, suicidal at the end of it. Even though he doesn't generally believe it at first, he needs a purpose in life, and this gives him a purpose. And he's already a highly trained ex-DPG officer, which is Diplomatic Protection Group in the UK, who basically protect their politicians and whatnot. He's a reluctant hero in a way. He doesn't really want to be doing it, but when he gets these messages after this initial meeting with this messenger, that flash into his head, and he knows who these people are, he knows the crimes these people are doing, you know, and being an ex-police officer himself, it obviously erupts that passion within inside of him to go out and sort these things out. So and the very first time he goes out, everything he saw in his head is there. The nightclub's there, the person who was in his head's there, and, you know, he knows what this person has done. So now he sort of believes, or he does believe, that he's getting these messages from God now.
It says that you're borderline schizophrenic. It says that you still talk to Alex.
And then there's another layer, which is basically my comment on religion, you know, which you can pick up all the way through the film.
When a man is running around killing people because a messenger from God told him to, then I think this is one of the best times for a theological discussion.
And then there's another layer at the bottom, which is, I have this slight fascination with conspiracy theories, you know, and stuff that I've read on the internet, and so that fascinates me. I don't necessarily believe it, but it fascinates me, and they make good stories, so I've sort of chucked that in there as well. And also leaving things open-ended. I mean, there are things in the script that I'm not even too sure about myself, but I've written in a specific way so they can be interpreted in different directions. What I want to try and do is not spoon-feed the audience what's going on within the film, but otherwise, everything that happens in the subplot that we don't see, basically, affects what happens in the film. And that should be picked up upon, you know, by the viewer. When I was in the army, obviously I knew we were trained how to use weapons, we were trained how to infiltrate buildings, we were trained how to, you know, obviously take care of ourselves. And I thought that would be good, in a sense, to bring to the URIEL character with this experience that I have. It gives you this feeling of realism, you know, this absolute feeling, and you can feel the fear, you know, that a person might feel if they were in a real war situation. It's like watching Saving Private Ryan, basically. When you remember these things, it's all shaky and moving around. You remember hitting the ground, bangs going off, moving, people shouting and going through. When I was to write my own film and put my own action into it, that because I've had these experiences, I could give a bit more realism to it. I don't generally see British action films. We make gangster movies or period dramas. It seems to be what we do the majority of. And so what I've always wanted to do, and as long as I can remember, I was like, you know, when I make films, I want to make British action films. Because we are a different country and we are different to America, and I'm a different person, and I have my own unique upbringing and background, and I think I can bring something very unique to the action genre. One of the very first things I did was to get on board a producer with experience. That, to me, was very important. So I met this an American based in Britain. He's from LA and New York, but he now resides in Britain. He's an Emmy Award-winning producer, and he's also won 15 international television and film awards. And so when I met David, I was quite impressed with his resume, and what he'd done. And we sat down and we talked about the project, and David took a copy of the script that wasn't even finished yet, about 80 pages or so, and said he liked it, he said he didn't think he would like it, but he liked it and would like to come on board. I thought, well, this is excellent, he can definitely bring something to our production, with his wealth of experience in production, what he's done over the years, and he could bring his wealth of knowledge and experience with financing and distribution, and all these things to us. When I saw The Bourne Identity, I thought, that's it. That's the kind of fighting that I want to employ in my films. Very realistic, and also very cinematic, It's a way of portraying fight sequences in a very realistic way, but keeping them very cinematic. What I always want to see is that when someone gets hit or when someone gets attacked, that when they get hit and they fall to the ground, I want the audience member to think, if that person had hit me like that, that's how I would go down. What's really excited me about this project is that we showed the script to a stunt team, who've worked on everything from, Quantum of Solace to Bourne Identity to Batman. They've worked on a wealth of films, too many for me to even remember. They liked it, they thought the script was good, they liked the action sequences, and so they've pretty much said if we can get the film off the ground, they're on board. And that really excites me because it means that when we do these stunt sequences, that they are going to be the best that they can be on a low budget. And so we brought these guys in and we explained to them exactly what we wanted to do. We worked in a few fight sequences together, which you can see in the trailer that we're shooting at the moment. And then you have to go and watch it again. You have to go and see this film again to make sure that you've got it right, And then when you get it, you feel this overwhelming feeling of, oh, I'm smart, I figured it out, I've done all this. But no, I love that. I love that about films, you know what I mean? And that's what I kind of want people to take away from URIEL, is this fact that it's not going to be, the underlying layers aren't going to be that easy to decipher the first time you watch it. But I think on a second viewing, or even a third viewing, these things will come out and come through, you know what I mean? And you'll see them clear as day. And this is what excites me about it.